Everyone's been talking about the VUG and the SCHD for growth. And look, they're very solid ETFs, but there's another ETF that is quietly outperforming both of them for the last 3 years, and almost no one is talking about it. It is the SPMO. Now, for me personally, I hold the SPMO as 20% of my portfolios. If you caught my portfolio video from last week, before you put another dollar into those traditional growth ETFs, you need to see this and how it's performing. So today we want to do a real breakdown: the SPMO, the VUG, and that SCHD. 3 growth ETFs, but they do have a very different strategy and very different outcomes depending on where the market is going. I want to show you exactly how each one is built, what the actual numbers look like, and where it belongs in your portfolio right now, and which one you might consider costing your returns that you might be leaving on the table from other ETFs. This isn't a sponsored video. It's no fluff. It's just data, strategy, simply and really investing simplified. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, here's the assumption that everyone makes. I want growth. I'm going to invest in the VUG or the SCHD, set it and forget it, and I'm going to be good for the next 20, 30, even 40 years. And honestly, for a long time, looking back historically, it has worked. But there's a lot of things that people don't realize about these traditional growth ETFs, like the VUG. They are built on fundamentals, earnings revenue, book value. They're really picking companies that are expected to grow, which is a little bit of a different animal as we're looking in 2026. Now, the SPMO plays an entirely different game. It's not asking which companies should go up. It's asking what companies are already going up. That's momentum investing. That is the shift. And that is what you really need in 2026. And the math behind it has been beating traditional growth ETFs now for decades. So let's take a look at all 3 of these, starting with our VUG. This is the Vanguard Growth ETF. It's kind of mainstream growth. It holds about 200 US large cap companies: Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, these companies that have been really data-driven, really driven by artificial intelligence, data centers. Expense ratio 0.04, very, very hard to beat when it has an expense ratio that low. Fundamental basis, it is looking at companies with high expectations of earning growth, massive liquidity, huge AUM, bulletproof brands that are in there. If you want boring, reliable growth and exposure, the VUG will deliver this all day long, but it's not optimal if you're chasing what is winning right now. Then we switched over to the SCHD. This is the Schwab's version of pretty much the exact same fund. Very similar to the VUG. It holds about 250 companies, exact same, very low 0.04 expense ratio, heavy weighted towards those mega cap companies, strong 10-year track record. If you're in the VUG, the SCHG is not going to give you anything that is really meaningful different. It's basically a clone of with the Schwab logo on it, not just knocking it. It's just the truth. It pretty much holds the exact same company. Then we get into the SPMO, because this is where it gets a little bit interesting. The Invesco S&P 500 Momentum ETF, a little bit more of an expense ratio at a 0.13, a little bit higher, but still very lean when you look at ETFs. What makes a difference is the selection methodology. Now, the SPMO pulls from the S&P 500, ranks every single stock that is in there in a 12-month price momentum, adjusted, of course, for volatility. The top stocks get in, the laggards get cut. And the big thing with this is it is rebalanced automatically every 6 months. It is rebalanced twice a year to keep the momentum going. So it is constantly rotating in and out of positions on what is actually working. So when we start looking at 2023, even 2024, the SPMO outperformed the VUG and the SCHD, not just by a little bit, but by a very significant margin, because momentum was rewarded heavily in the market conditions that we've seen with tech and all of the growth in there. So let's put this into numbers. If you invested $10,000 into each of these 3 years ago, the VUG would have had strong performance. We've seen it double-digit growth, sitting pretty well in there. The SCHD nearly identical to the VUG, which is kind of crazy. Marginal difference between those two. Then when we look at the SPMO in recent cycles, it has pulled meaningful ahead. It has been growing like absolute crazy. Now, here's the catch, and I want to be straight with you guys because it's not all sunshine and rainbows here. Momentum strategies are cyclical. It's choppy in sideways markets where it's not just, hey, the market's going up, up, and up to record new highs once a week, or rotating markets. It can underperform, and it can underperform very badly. It's not really a set it and forget it ETF that the same way like a VUG or the SCHD is. You need to understand when the momentum is working and when the momentum doesn't, but that's also the reason why it does readjust every 6 months. And I want to be straight and honest with you guys because most financial channels don't. SPMO is not a straight upgrade over the VUG or the SCHD. In 2022, the style drawdown, raising rates, rotating out of tech, broad market sell-off, momentum ETFs will get crushed much harder than your traditional growth ETFs because they're holding whatever is hot. When the hot thing falls, it's going to flip really quick with an ETF like this. So who exactly is this ETF for? We're looking at investors who understand the momentum factor, have a long-term horizon, and willing to accept a much higher short-term volatility in exchange for the potential much higher return in the trending market. So a lot of people sold off in 2022. SPMO, probably not your ETF if you're liquidating your positions and not holding them for the long haul. So here's how I would actually position these. If you want a core or satellite approach, you could do something like the VUG, the SCHD as a foundation. Even looking at a QQQM would be a pretty good one in there. Maybe in the growth part of your portfolio, 70 to 80%. Proven stability, very low cost. You're going to see some growth in there. Then an SPMO might be a tactical satellite depending on your risk. Looking at 20 to 30% of your portfolio actually be investing here. You're catching the momentum upside without betting your entire growth portfolio on a very strategic but only one cyclical ETFs that we have in there. Some investors do go a lot heavier into the SPMO during momentum friendly markets and trim when conditions change, but that would require you to pay attention. And honestly, most people don't pay attention to their portfolio at all. They look if it's up, they look if it's down. That is it. So be very honest when it comes to what style of investor you are and know exactly the portfolio you're looking at. So here's really the action steps we can do here. Pull up the SPMO, the VUG, and the SCHD in your brokerage account. Take a look at the 1, 3, 5 year side by side, depending what you're invested in. Ask yourself, does my current portfolio have enough momentum exposure, or are you leaving returns on the table for a majority of people? If you're not investing in the SPMO, that exact question is there. Now drop a comment down below. Are you and do you hold the VUG? Do you hold the SCHD? And are you holding the SPMO? Are you willing to give it a shot? I read every single comment, guys. And if this video helped you think a little bit differently about growth ETFs, hit that subscribe button. I'm posting new financial videos on here every single day, building real wealth and of course, smart investing. No hype, no trends, just strategies. Now, also when it comes to the SPMO, this is an ETF that, like I said earlier, I do hold as a 20% hold within my portfolio. And honestly, when you start looking at the growth ETFs, including the QQQM that I hold and the VOO, it has been outperforming both of those ETFs over an extended amount of time. So the momentum is working and we should see that momentum carry throughout 2026 and into 2027. So again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you guys think because I answer every comment. And as always, thank you guys for watching.